So hello, my name is Raquel. I'm in your schedule, so you should know that. I'm from Panama, so I do have an accent, but I think you have an accent too. Sometimes I'm talking to British people, I have no idea what they're saying, but whatever. So I'm from Panama, I teach here in Neve, so great. So I'm very happy to be teaching you, so beautiful. Just remember, laugh at everything I say, because if not, it's not good, okay? Great. So I'm sure since you guys are just starting from sort of not so much background, I guess, in Judaism, you have a lot of questions. Do you have a lot of questions? I always say I had too many questions at 17. No one was answering them, so I decided to become a teacher myself. So this is what I'm doing, I'm answering all my questions. So what is one of the questions you have? Pretty much the main one. When you start thinking, you become a mature person and you start thinking, what is the first thing that comes into your mind? And a question that keeps haunting you. What?
What's the point?
The point of what?
That's my question.
Great, what's the point of what?
What's the point?
What's the point of anything? Great. Anyone wants to rephrase that in a better way? Because what's the point just sounds very skeptic. Yeah.
Why are we here?
Why are we here? Great. What's the point of here?
Yeah.
Beautiful. Why are we here? I always used to ask that question. When I was 17, I was already really good, I'm gonna party for that long. Now, how much could you party? When you see someone and they're 45, and then keep on coming to a discotheque and you're just get a life. Guess what? Maybe you'll be that 45-year-old lady, I hope not. But at 17 I started wondering, what am I doing in the world? Did I just came to party and go shopping and go to a movies? It can't be that life is so empty, right? So what am I really doing here? In life, what matters the most is not what car you're driving, but where are you going? You could be driving the best car in the world, but if you don't have a destination, you're just wasting gas. Most people, sadly, are wasting gas. Do you really know where you're going? You ever wonder this? Where am I going? What am I doing here? Everyone asks the question, why? Why? In Hebrew, why is called lama. This is a very nice word, very colorful, okay? You know what happens in Israel when you ask someone lama? You ever had this? Anyone Israeli here? When you ask someone lama, you know what you get? So in Israel, whenever you say lama, why, you get kaha. That's why. Lama, kaha. That's the way it is. Israel is a bit sarcastic. Lama, kaha. But why did this have to happen to me? Who cares? And I'm not saying Israelis are not sensitive, but when you really think about it, what's the point of just asking why? Are you ever going to change anything that happened to you by asking why? Yes or no? No. Why? Why do you want to know why? Because maybe it gives it meaning, maybe it gives it understanding. But in reality, why is not the question you should be asking. You know why Israelis, whenever someone asks why, they say, kacha, that's why? Because if not, you would never move on in life. You would always stay in the same place, asking the same questions. Why? 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 The Jewish question is not why, lama, right? Is lema. Same word, different vowels. You know what lema means? For what? Great, who said that? Someone over here. For what? For what was this? What's the purpose? What am I doing here? It's not why am I here. What? For what? When I was younger, I asked one time to my rabbi, how do you really know that each Jewish person will ever get a message? How do you know? Some people are so far away, you really think God is going to send them a message? So he told me like this. 100 years ago, there was a guy that he was a farmer. So every day he used to go out, work the land, hi-ho, whatever. And then he used to come back, and he used to watch black and white newspaper. They were always black and white. Okay, great. Then 30 years later, his son does the same thing. He goes, he works the land, he comes back home. Now there's black and white TV. Great. 30 years later, he goes out, he works the land, he comes back home, there's iPhone. 30 years later, I hope there's still people working the land and not robots, but whatever. He goes out, he works the land, and at some point, he lifts up his shovel, and he starts thinking, really? What am I doing? And what would most people say? This is what my father did, and my grandfather did, and everyone has been doing. So hi-ho, it's time to get to work, and you keep on doing the same thing. But some of us will actually ask, really? This is what life is about? There was a song. And some people will say, there's gotta be more to life. You know that song, right? There was a famous Israeli comedian. Every day he used to go out, do a show, come back and have fun. The life of the rich and famous, good luck. One day he was changing in the bathroom saw a little ant that was walking and kept on crashing against the door and walked back. If that would have been an ant in my house, I'm Sephardi, that means I'm OCD and a clean freak, I would have stepped on it on 5 seconds. In my house, you could eat from the floor, like literally. But this guy was looking at the ant, and he saw, like, she couldn't move forward. She kept on walking, crashing, walking back. Walking, crashing, walking back. Do you ever feel like this? You're walking, but you don't move anywhere. You're just stuck in the same place. So at some point, he said, oh my God, I'm like this ant. I just keep on walking. I'm not getting anywhere. And he started saying, there's gotta be more. And he went looking and he found answers. So the question I wanna deal with is, what are we doing here? But before that, right, I wanna give you a longer introduction, right? The idea of questioning, it's a very Jewish idea. There's actually a famous part in the Torah, or in Judaism, that has these 4 questions. Remember when you were reading the Seder of Pesach? You remember this? There were the 4 children, right? So there was, who knows the 4 children? First one is the Chacham, yeah, the wise one. Second one, I like how you say it in British, so say it, wicked. Could you say that? Wicked. Wicked. Okay, whatever. I always say, I like how people say wicked or naughty. Okay, great. So there's the Chacham, the wise one, the wicked one, the Tam, the simple one, V'she'eino yodea lish'ol, the one that doesn't know how to ask. So my first question was, why are there only 4 children? In case you haven't noticed, religious people love having children. Average children in a religious house is like 8.4. Average of children in an Arab house is 9.4. So we should work, because this is a democracy after all. So let's get on it, girls, yeah? Average of children in a non-religious house, I mean secular, non-Jewish, whatever you want, it's 1.4. 1 kid and 1 dog. So the question is, why are there only 4 children and not more? So the Torah answers, these 4 children represent the 4 stages, or the 4, areas, or whatever you want to call it, in the history of the Jewish people. And if you ever think about it, it happened in each one of your families, guaranteed. First child, Chacham. 300 years ago, everyone knew Torah. There were always people that, studied more, less, rebellious, whatever, but people studied Torah. Anyone here, your great-grandfather used to know all these things? You remember this? No, because you didn't meet him. But I'm sure your mother used to tell you, and your grandmother, that your great-great-grandfather was a rabbi I don't know where, or something I don't know what. Yeah, everyone see this? Last year I was watching Fiddler on the Roof for the first time in English. You ever watch Fiddler on the Roof? Everyone knows this part, it's really important. So he grabs his tzitzit and he says, and what is this? You may ask, and I'll tell you, I don't know. And since when have I been using it? As long as I can remember. I was looking at the movie and I was so angry. I started yelling, no! What's a tradition? Tradition means I do it because my parents did it and I don't know. Commandment means it has meaning. It was given by God, right? There's something to it. Imagine if someone comes to you with a Torah full of 613 traditions. Would you keep it? Hell no. Why should I do all these stupid things? I'm just going to throw them outside of the window. Tzitzit actually is one of the 613 commandments. Each second a man wear tzitzit, he's following all the mitzvot of the Torah. You know this? Each second you wear a tzitzit, it's as if you're keeping all the mitzvot of the Torah. It's not a tradition, it's a commandment. But you know what it looks like? If I'm just doing tradition, I'm just going to be like Tevia's daughter, that one of them was frum, then the other one went a little bit off, and then the other one ended up, more off. And that's exactly what's going on in the Jewish people. Second son, he says, why should I keep the Judaism? This is so hard. It's just whatever. What does he do? He becomes wicked, the wicked child. He rebels. You see this in history? Yeah? He rebels. He doesn't want to do anything. The third son, he's the Tam, the simple one. He sees his father doesn't do anything, but his grandfather does a little bit. So he does a little bit. Are you maybe there? Probably. The fourth son, he's called She'eino yodea lish'ol. I don't know how to say it in Ashkenazi, I'm sorry. She'eino yodea lish'ol means he doesn't know what to ask. You know why he doesn't know how to ask? Because pretty much the only thing he knows about Judaism is that he's Jewish. Do you know people like this? Practically everyone it's like this. The only thing they know about Judaism is that they're Jewish. I don't know what statistics are in England, but I could tell you more than 70, I could even say 80% of American Jewish people, the only thing they know about Judaism is that they're Jewish. Isn't that a scary thing? Makes me want to cry. Can I tell you crazier statistics? Don't cry, yeah? What is the first thing you do when you come to Israel? What is the first thing people take you to do? You go where? Kotel, yeah? Or the Koisel, right? Afterwards, you go to Machane Yehuda. Afterwards, you go to eat like a crepe. It's like the three main things to do in Israel, yeah? Can I tell you a crazy thing? Fact, by the way, 23% of Israelis only go to the Kotel when they're initiated in the army. You know that? That means that until 18, they never went to the Kotel. You understand this? Until 18, they have never gone to a Kotel. 23% of Israelis don't know how to say the Shema. Isn't that sad? We're not talking about people in America, in Bolivia, in Panama. No one knows where they are. Actually, Panama has the biggest Jewish community in the world percentage-wise, but no one knows that. We're more than 3% of the country. Go Panama, go Panama. Okay, whatever. We didn't make it to a Mundial, so I guess we're not that good. We didn't have, who's this guy? David Beckham. Whatever. The point is, isn't that a sad thing? So I started thinking, what's going on? Because we're not getting any bigger, you know? 2,000 years ago, we were 11 million Jewish people. 2,000 years later, we're 40 million Jewish people. We're the only people that don't grow, right? I know you could say we had Inquisition, we had this, we had that, but that's not the point. How are we not growing? We have 8.4 kids per family. Some families have 18. How could it be? I have an aunt. She came to my house from Los Angeles for my brother's bar mitzvah. So she was sitting there and she started talking to us. So at some point she started crying. I never met her. She came because Panama is like #1 place to visit in Forbes magazine, you know? Last year, #1 place. This is why it's becoming so expensive, because you people keep on coming to visit. Maybe I shouldn't invite you. Great, but the point is, so she came and she was talking to us, and at some point she started crying. So I look at her, and I'm very blunt, it's not a good thing. So I look at her and I said, why are you crying? So she said, by the way, she was Sephardi. That means, anyone Sephardi here? Sephardi usually have no assimilation. They're much more traditional. If you're Syrian, no assimilation. Moroccan, a little bit more. Persian, a little bit more. Persian they have to get on track, right? But what happened? Sorry, I see you're Persian, don't get offended. It's fine, you're Iraqi, huh? Yeah, that's why I love Iraqi people. Okay, great. But, you know, Rafa Vadia was Iraqi, that's a good thing. Great, okay, if you don't have no idea what we're talking about, it's fine. My husband also had no idea what a Sephardi was. When I got married, I married Ashkenazi. I know I'm a sinner, what can I do? But I don't make a filter fish, and I keep on making lahmacun and all these things, you know? So when I got married, I told my husband, you know, we Sephardi people, we use spices. So he goes to me, he's like, what's that? I'm like, you know, there's salt and other things. Ashkenazi only know that salt exists, not even pepper. Oh my God. So he went to a supermarket and he got me one of each spice. I'm more than 45 spices. I have no idea what to use them for. So whatever. Now I feel very spiced up. Okay, whatever. So the point is, so my aunt was sitting there. I look at her, zero anything. She doesn't keep anything. She's one of these ladies that she makes her kids fast on Yom Kippur. Are you one of these? You know, I don't know anything about Judaism. I just know I have to fast once a year for 25 hours. Does that sound like something good for you? No, I don't want to fast on Yom Kippur. It's not even good for my diet. Because afterwards you cheat on yourself and think because you fast, you could break it eating all these things. So at the end of the day, you end up gaining like 3 kilos after fasting for 1 day. So no purpose. So I look at my aunt, she's crying, and I tell her, but why are you crying? So she looks at me like I'm not very smart, and she says, I told you, my son is marrying a non-Jew. My grandchildren are not going to be Jewish. So I look at her again and I say, this is like a boom moment. I said, but what did you give them that was Jewish? You know, it's a question everyone should ask themselves. If I would ask you right now, are you proud of being Jewish? You would say, yes. What are you proud of? You ever think about this? Because we're smart. We win Nobel Prizes, we have startup companies. That's not Jewish. Why are we proud of? I could guarantee you most of us could not say something that has real value that we're going to pass on. So you're proud of what? We don't even know what we're proud of, right? We don't even know what we're proud of, so how are we going to keep it? There was I want to ask you a really important question. You should ask yourself this. In the eyes of a non-religious Jew, non-religious, what's the difference between a Jew and a non-Jew? In the eyes of a non-religious Jew, what's the difference between a Jew and a non-Jew? What's the difference? Yeah, I know you're in TV, but you know?
The customs we have to keep.
The custom, but if you're non-religious, you don't keep customs. You're Sephardi, so you don't count on this category, yeah? In the eyes of a non-religious Jew, what's the difference between a Jew and a non-Jew? If you cannot come up with something, it's because there's none. There's no difference between a Jew and a non-Jew in the eyes of a non-religious Jew. The nose, maybe. I think I have a nice nose. Some of you also do. Some of you don't. But that's life. You can't have everything. You can't be perfect, you know? In the eyes of a non-religious Jew, there's no difference between a Jew and a non-Jew. So now let me ask you, then why should I keep being Jewish if everyone persecutes me and wants to kill me and hates me? Does that make sense? No. That's why I will not keep on being Jewish. That makes sense. Why should I fight for something I don't even know what I have and it comes with such a big weight? It doesn't make sense. You know, I have a friend, she's a convert. She's a black convert, which means it's a really hard thing, right? She converted at like 30-something. It's a hard thing. You have to leave your family. You have to start from zero. Who are you going to get married? Every time we used to sit down and eat, I'm not joking, her blessings are like this. Baruch, Ata, Hashem. And you're like, could you hurry up because I just want to eat, you know? And I started thinking, oh my God, this girl is sacrificing everything for something she doesn't have, and I was born with this, and I never checked it out. You know, how many of you have checked it out? You know when you go into the airport, Israeli people, or not Israeli people, Jewish people, when they're davening, they always pretend to be talking on their cell phone. Did you ever notice this? They're like talking to our Bluetooth because they don't want anyone to notice. And they always go and they hide. You ever notice this? And if you ask them why they're hiding, they'll say concentration. Arabs, they open their carpet in the middle of the airport and they start Allah, the Hindus, everyone, you know, they do the whole business. Why are the Jewish people hiding? So they'll tell you it's for concentration. We know it's because we're embarrassed. You ever feel embarrassed, you know? You ever walk next to a Jewish guy and you feel like you're embarrassed that they'll notice you with him? You are, right? Why are we embarrassed? So people will say we're embarrassed because we don't like being different. Really? You think Queen Elizabeth minds being different? She doesn't wear pants, she doesn't eat French fries with her finger. Maybe she does that in the bathroom, but you shouldn't eat in the bathroom, right? I hope Queen Elizabeth doesn't see this video, okay? I'm sure she won't get it. Maybe Kate Middleton, there's rumors, you know, but whatever, right? But why doesn't she mind being different? Because I'll tell you what I learned in life. People don't mind being different as long as your differences make you great, right? If you just won the lottery, would you be the only different one? Would you mind it? No, bring it on. Why? Because my difference makes me great. That means that if I value and I appreciate my differences, I don't mind being different. But when I don't know where they are and what do they mean and why are they important, then I don't want them. I want to be just like everyone else. So maybe that means we don't really know what makes us different in a good way. What makes us special? Urban Outfitters made a shirt. It was the Jewish shirt. Anyone saw this? It was a Star of David, and around it, it had money signs. That's Jewish. It's all about the money, 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 you know? That's what creates anti-Semitism. That's what people think. Jewish means money. Jewish, that's not what Jewish means. So what does it mean? By the way, can I tell you? The Torah asks, where is the fifth child? Yeah, good question, no? So the Torah gives you one of two answers. Number one answer, he's gone. This happens everywhere. Just in America, more than 7 million Jewish people assimilated. That's more than Hitler killed. We're doing Hitler's job for free, right? 7 million. You know what happens to a fifth son? Number one answer, he's gone. I have a friend, she's the last Jew in her family. Everyone else assimilated, everyone except for her. Happens to be that she only had brothers, and all the uncles had brothers, men, and she's the only girl, so at least, Baruch Hashem, even if she would marry non-Jew, her kids would still be Jewish, but who knows next, yeah? But you know what's the other part, the other side of the fifth child? And this is pretty much your responsibility. I know I'm telling you so much at 19, you're like, this is such a big thing. But you know, my favorite quote is from Spider-Man. With great power comes great responsibility. So you're powerful people. You know what's the other option for the fifth child, says the Torah? He goes back into being the first child. How was the first child called? Chacham, wise. You see this? Not the religious one, the wise one. Ask questions. Look for truth. That's the only thing God expects from you. You know, in Hebrew, we have a concept called the Yetzer Hara, which means the evil inclination. The evil inclination never gives you a moment to ask questions. You ever notice this? You're always running, watching TV, radio, books, advertisement, naked people everywhere. Why? Because he knows that if you just stop for one moment, you might question, and you might look for answers, and answers give you responsibility. And he doesn't want you to do that. I have a song in my iPod. It says like this. Stop. Don't think about it. Be careful every day. You know, stop. Don't think about it. That's what the world says. Don't think about it. Just keep on moving, yeah? That's a bad thing. You should stop. You should think about it. Because again, if you're just driving, but you have no idea where you're going, you're wasting gas. Doesn't matter how fancy your car is, there's no purpose for your car. Because the car's purpose is to take you to your destination. So the question is, what is your destination? Yeah? Imagine someone comes to you with a huge gift, beautifully wrapped, beautiful box, nice paper, nice ribbon, and it's a guy. So you open the first box, and what do you find inside? Another box. Does this make you exciting? Of course, because if it's a guy and he has 2 boxes, must be something good, because he wrapped it twice, you know? You open up the second box, another box, another box, another box. Are you getting really excited? You open up, last box, this side. You don't even open it up, you're already calling to tell your parents you're getting engaged, you're so excited. You open up the last box, what do you find inside? Nothing. What do? First, you kick him on the balls, you know? Second, what do you do with the boxes? What do you do with the boxes? What do you do with the boxes, guys? This is easy. Easy question. You throw them out. If you're cheap, you'll save them for your next present, yeah? Why do you throw them out? Because the only purpose of the boxes was to enhance the gift. But if there's no gift, there's no purpose for the box or for the ribbon or for anything else. Growing up, I think most people, right? We grow up and what do we think? We were given this huge gift. It's called Jewish. It comes with a huge weight, but when you open it up, you don't know what's inside. Do you ever feel like that? Great, so I invite you to open up your box. Maybe you'll fill it with something, right?